Good evening. Welcome aboard. My name is Captain Michal, and tonight I'll be your pilot as we make our way from London Heathrow Airport to Tokyo, Haneda. It's good to have you here. Before we begin our journey, I'd like to help you settle in and get comfortable. Tonight is a long flight. The kind of journey that allows the world to slow down a little. For the next several hours, there is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing you need to do. No decisions to make. Your only job is to relax, to get comfortable, and perhaps drift peacefully off to sleep somewhere over Europe, or maybe even before we left England. Outside the aircraft, evening has settled over London. The terminal windows glow with warm light. Airport vehicles move steadily across the tarmac. Fuel trucks, baggage carts, catering vehicles. Everything moving quietly with purpose. Our aircraft has been sitting patiently at the gate all afternoon, fueled, inspected, loaded, ready to take us halfway around the world. Passengers are boarding now. You can hear the gentle hum of conversations, the soft rumble of suitcase wheels, the occasional click of an overhead locker. People finding their seats, helping each other lift bags, taking one last look at messages before switching phones to flight mode. It's one of my favorite moments of any flight. The transition between everyday life and travel. For now, we are all simply travelers, sharing the same destination, sharing the same night sky. Take a moment and look out of the window. Baggage cart rolls slowly beneath the wing. Its amber beacon flashes every few seconds. Further away, ground crews continue their work beneath brick floodlights. Everything appears calm, bright floodlights, as though everyone already knows exactly what they need to do. There is something comforting about that. Watching people quietly go about their work. No rushing, no drama, just routine. Thousands of small tasks coming together to make a journey possible. Tonight, hundreds of people are helping us reach Tokyo. The engineers who inspected the aircraft, the dispatchers who planned our route, the weather specialists who studied conditions ahead, the baggage handlers loading suitcases, the catering teams preparing meals, the air traffic controllers guiding aircraft safely through the sky. Most passengers never see those people, but they are all part of the journey, working quietly behind the scenes, allowing you to sit comfortably in your seat and simply relax. The cabin is beginning to settle now. A few reading lights have appeared. Little pools of warm light scattered throughout the aircraft. Someone nearby is already resting with their eyes closed. Another passenger carefully arranges a neck pillow. A few window shades remain open. Gradually, one by one, they begin lowering. Experienced travelers know that overnight flights have their own rhythm. You don't need to stay awake just because it's still evening. Soon we'll be crossing time zones, traveling east through the darkness. Yet inside the aircraft, everything remains simple. A comfortable seat, a blanket, gentle cabin temperature, the soft hum of the engines, and the reassuring knowledge that someone else is doing all the work. One of the things I enjoy most about flying overnight is watching cities disappear. During the day, you can see roads, buildings, and traffic, but at night the world becomes simpler. Only the essentials remain. The glow of towns, the lines of major roads, the occasional cluster of lights marking a city. Everything else dissolves into darkness. There is something very peaceful about that, almost as if the world itself has gone to sleep. Perhaps that's why overnight flights feel different. They feel quieter, more reflective. Outside, another aircraft begins its takeoff roll. You can see it moving in the distance. A string of bright lights accelerating into the darkness, then lifting smoothly into the night sky, glowing, growing smaller and smaller until it disappears completely, heading toward some distant destination, perhaps New York, perhaps Singapore, perhaps somewhere much closer It's strange to think about how many journeys are happening at this exact moment. Thousands of aircraft crossing oceans, deserts, and mountain ranges, each carrying people with plans, memories, and hopes for tomorrow. And yet tonight, you don't need to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow can wait until Tokyo. For now, all that matters is this seat, this flight, this moment. As boarding reaches its final stages, the atmosphere changes. The excitement softens, the movement slows. Most passengers have settled. The overhead lockers are closed. Seatbelts are fastened. Cabin crew complete their final checks. The aircraft feels ready, prepared, almost eager to begin. I always find this moment reassuring. That brief pause before departure. The moment when everything is finally in place. Nothing left to organize. Nothing left to prepare. Just the journey itself waiting to begin. The last few passengers arrive. The cabin lights dim slightly, creating that familiar long haul atmosphere. Warm, comfortable, relaxing. Soon the doors close. The outside world immediately feels more distant. Inside, everything becomes calm. The gentle hum of ventilation system, soft conversations, the occasional rustle of clothing. Nothing urgent, nothing demanding your attention. Just a comfortable cocoon traveling through the night. A pushback vehicle connects to the aircraft. Slowly, we begin moving backwards. The terminal starts drifting away from the windows. Ground crew members wave. Airport lights reflect from the pavement. It's a surprisingly peaceful moment. The beginning of a very long adventure. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you aboard our overnight service from London Heathrow to Tokyo Haneda. Our flight time this evening will be approximately 13 hours and 45 minutes. Weather conditions along our route are looking favorable, and we are expecting a smooth journey for most of the flight. Once airborne, we'll climb northeast across Europe before continuing across northern Asia and eventually descending into Tokyo tomorrow afternoon local time. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you for flying with us tonight. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. The aircraft begins its taxi, slow and steady. Outside, Heathrow stretches into the distance. Runways illuminated by endless rows of lights. Aircraft arriving from all corners of the world. Some from North America, some from the Middle East, some from Asia. The airport never truly sleeps. Even in the middle of the night, it continues quietly, connecting distant places together. Eventually, we approached the runway. The cabin grows quieter. Conversations fade. People glance out of windows. Others close their eyes. The aircraft pauses briefly. One final moment of stillness. Then clearance arrives. The engines increase power. Smoothly, the runway lights begin rushing past. Faster and faster. A gentle push presses you back into your seat. The city lights beyond become streaks of color. And then we leave the ground. London begins falling away beneath us. Roads become glowing threads. Neighborhoods blend together into rivers of light. The River Thames twists through the darkness below like a silver ribbon. The climb is smooth tonight, very smooth. Soon the city disappears behind us. The darkness of the countryside takes its place. The aircraft continues climbing. 20,000 feet, 30,000, eventually settling high above the clouds. Far below us, most of England is asleep. Lights switched off, quiet streets, and now perhaps you can begin settling into sleep as well. The seatbelt sign switches off. A soft chime sounds through the cabin. Passengers begin relaxing further. Seats recline slightly. Blankets appear. Books open. Headphones go on. The night portion of our journey begins. The cabin crew start preparing the first service. The smell of food gradually drifts through the aircraft. Fresh bread, aisles, coffee brewing in the galley. The crew begin moving through the aisles, offering drinks first. Perhaps a glass of water, tea, coffee, maybe a glass of wine to help you unwind. The atmosphere remains wonderfully calm. Nobody rushing, nobody in a hurry, just hundreds of people quietly settling into a shared overnight journey. Dinner follows shortly afterwards. You might choose risotto or perhaps a Japanese-inspired meal with rice. There's warm bread, a small salad, and a dessert waiting at the end. Simple comforts, the kind of food that feels especially satisfying at 37,000 feet above the earth. Outside your window, darkness stretches endlessly. The wing light flashes rhythmically. The engine hum remains constant, steady, almost hypnotic. Many people find it surprisingly relaxing, a sound that quietly reassures you that everything is exactly as it should be. Dinner trays are eventually collected. Cabin lights dim a little further. Passengers begin settling for the night. Some already sleeping. Some staring out into the darkness. Some listening to music. Others simply enjoying the peaceful feeling of being suspended between two continents. As we continue eastward into the night, leaving Britain further behind with every passing minute, I think this might be the perfect moment to get comfortable. Put your blanket up. Rest your head. Allow your eyes to grow heavier, because our journey has only just begun. And somewhere ahead of us, beyond thousands of miles of darkness, Tokyo patiently waits. The cabin is becoming quieter now. The dinner service has finished. Most of the trays have been collected. The activity of departure feels far behind us. And now we enter the calmest part of our journey. The long overnight cruise toward Tokyo. Many passengers are already asleep, blankets pulled up to their shoulders, heads resting comfortably against windows, reading lights switched off. The cabin crew move quietly through the aisles, checking on passengers and offering water to anyone still awake. Outside, darkness stretches in every direction. Far below us lies Northern Europe. We have crossed Germany and Poland and continue steadily eastward. Occasionally a city appears beneath us, a cluster of warm lights surrounded by darkness. Roads connect towns like glowing threads across the landscape. From this altitude, everything feels peaceful, simple, distant. The world seems to slow down at night. And perhaps that's why overnight flights feel so relaxing. For a few hours, there is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing you need to do. No decision to make. Only the gentle experience of being carried across the world while everyone else takes care of the details. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I thought I'd provide a brief update on our progress. We are currently cruising at 37,000 feet and continuing smoothly toward Tokyo. Conditions remain excellent and we are expecting a comfortable flight ahead. If you are hoping to get some rest, now is a perfect opportunity. Thank you. The announcement fades away and the aircraft settles back into its familiar rhythm. The steady hum of the engines, the soft airflow through the cabin, the occasional rustle of a blanket. Nothing sudden, nothing demanding, just a collection of gentle sounds blending together into the soundtrack of an overnight flight. Outside the window, the moon hangs above the horizon. Its light reflects softly from clouds below. The wing occasionally catches the silver glow before disappearing back into darkness. It's one of the most calming sights in aviation. A quiet reminder that everything is exactly as it should be. The aircraft continues onward, steady, reliable, confident, hour after hour. Soon we cross Finland, a country of forests and lakes. Even in darkness you can sense the vastness below. Small settlements appear occasionally. Tiny islands of light surrounded by wilderness. Then they disappear behind us as we continue eastward. Beyond Finland lies northern Russia, one of the most remote sections of our journey. Vast forests stretch beneath us. Rivers winding through the landscape. thousands of miles of wilderness illuminated only by moonlight. For many hours we travel across these enormous spaces. The world below feels quiet, almost untouched. The further east we travel, the more remote the landscape becomes. Long stretches pass where no lights are visible at all. No roads, no towns, no signs of human activity, just darkness, forests, rivers, and endless open space. There is something reassuring about knowing places like this still exist. Quiet corners of the world, far removed from busy lives, far removed from deadlines and responsibilities. As we continue across Siberia, the aircraft seems almost suspended in time. The engines maintain the same gentle hum. The cabin remains calm. The passengers continue sleeping. Nothing much changes from minute to minute. And somehow that's comforting. You don't need to be moving toward the next thing. You don't need to be productive. You can simply exist here for a while. Comfortably, peacefully, carried forward through the darkness. If you happened to open the window shade right now, you would probably say a sky filled with stars. More stars than most people ever notice from the ground. Without city lights below, the night sky appears deeper, larger, almost endless. The moonlight reflects softly from scattered clouds. The wing stretches quietly into the darkness. Its navigation lights blinking at regular intervals. A familiar rhythm, steady and predictable. For many travelers, this becomes their favorite part of the flight. Not the departure, not the arrival, but these peaceful hours in between, when the world is asleep, when the cabin is quiet, and there is nothing to do except rest and enjoy the journey. But now, most of the cabin has surrendered to sleep. Rows of passengers rest peacefully. The aircraft feels less like transportation and more like a floating hotel moving gently through the night. Some are traveling home. Some are beginning a holiday. Some are heading somewhere completely new. For a brief moment, all of those stories share the same space. Hundreds of people from different backgrounds, different countries, different lives, all moving together through the darkness toward the same destination. There is something quietly comforting about that. The aircraft becomes a small community, high above the world. Everyone is simply a traveler. Nothing more is required. Nothing needs to be proven. Everyone is allowed to rest. Somewhere ahead of us, the flight deck remains softly illuminated. Pilots monitor the route while navigation systems guide us steadily eastward. Modern airliners are remarkable machines, built to cross continents with quiet confidence, mile after mile. The route to Tokyo stretches thousands of miles across forests, mountains, and remote wilderness. Yet from inside the cabin, the experience feels almost effortless. The aircraft simply continues onwards, stable, reliable. The gentle vibration of the engines becomes almost hypnotic. You don't need to watch every mile pass beneath us. The journey continues whether you are awake or asleep. And that's a nice feeling, knowing that things can move forward without effort. The cabin lights have been dimmed even further now. Only small pools of light remain visible. The soft glow along the ceiling. Everything designed to encourage rest. Even the sounds feel softer, as though the aircraft itself understands that this is a time for sleeping. Perhaps you've adjusted your blanket. Perhaps you've settled deeper into your seat. Maybe you've been listening from bed all along. There's no need to stay fully awake. You can simply listen. Allow the words to drift past. No need to remember everything. No need to follow every detail. Just let the journey continue around you. A flight attendant quietly walks through the cabin carrying a tray of water. Anyone still awake is offered a drink. The interaction is brief, softly spoken, almost whispered. The crew know that many passengers are sleeping. Every moment becomes slower, more careful. Every door is closed gently. Every curtain moved quietly aside. Even while most people sleep, there are always people working behind the scenes, making sure everything continues exactly as planned. If you glance out of the window now, you might notice a subtle change in the sky. Not sunrise yet, just a slight difference in the darkness. Time continues moving forward, even though the cabin seems frozen in a peaceful moment. That is one of the strange things about long haul flights. Hours pass without feeling like hours. There are no traffic lights, no meetings, no messages demanding attention, just a quiet passage of distance. The engines continue their familiar hum, steady, comforting, unchanging. There is no need to anticipate anything, no need to stay alert. The aircraft knows the way. The crew are taking care of the details, and you are free to rest, free to relax, free to let your thoughts slow down. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your breathing to slow. Allow your thoughts to drift wherever they choose. For this moment, you are simply a passenger, traveling peacefully through the darkness, moving steadily toward a new morning. And that is enough. Hours pass quietly. The aircraft continues eastward, crossing vast regions of northern Asia. Below us, forests stretch beyond the horizon. Mountains rise and disappear into darkness. Yet inside the cabin, very little changes. The same soft lighting, the same steady engine hum, the same calm atmosphere. A kind of peaceful stillness that only exists on overnight flights. Some passengers shift in their seats. Others pull their blankets closer. Many remain asleep, dreaming while the aircraft carries them across continents. Outside, the first signs of morning are beginning to gather far ahead. Still distant, still subtle. A thin line of color appears along the horizon, barely noticeable at first. The darkness slowly begins to loosen its grip on the sky. The stars fade one by one. The moon becomes softer. The world below begins to reveal itself again. Shapes emerge from the darkness. Clouds become visible. Mountain ranges appear as faint silhouettes. The night has been long, but morning is coming. At first the colors are delicate, deep blue, soft violet, hints of pink. Then gradually, the horizon begins to glow. Orange spreads across the distance. Golden light touches the tops of clouds. The sunrise unfolds slowly, patiently, without hurry, as though the world itself is waking up gently. For many travelers, this becomes one of the most memorable moments of the journey. A sunrise scene, from 37,000 feet, far above cities, far above weather, watching an entirely new day begin. The cabin slowly begins to wake. Reading lights appear one by one. Window shades rise. Passengers stretch, adjust their seats, look around and realize how much of the flight has passed. The quiet overnight atmosphere slowly transforms into the anticipation of arrival. Soon, the smell of coffee drifts through the cabin. Warm pastries. Breakfast service begins. Flight attendants move through the aisles once more, offering simple comforts to help everyone start the day. A warm croissant, fresh fruit, orange juice. Outside the window, daylight now stretches across the sky. The night is behind us. Tokyo is drawing closer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have begun the final stages of our journey into Tokyo. We are expecting a smooth arrival into Haneda Airport this morning. The weather is looking excellent, with clear conditions across the city. We'll be commencing our descent shortly. Thank you once again for flying with us. The announcement brings a quiet sense of excitement to the cabin. The journey that felt endless during the night now seems to have passed surprisingly quickly. Passengers begin gathering small belongings. Books are put away. Headphones are removed. Blankets folded neatly. The anticipation of arrival slowly grows. Soon the Sea of Japan appears below, a deep blue expanse stretching toward the horizon. Fishing vessels leave delicate white trails across the water. The coastline begins to emerge ahead. Harbors, roads, small towns, then larger cities. Japan appears beneath us, beautiful, precise. The morning sunlight reflects from rivers and buildings, creating flashes of gold across the landscape. As we continue descending, Tokyo begins to reveal its true scale. Neighborhood after neighborhood stretches toward the horizon. Railway lines weave through the city. Bridges cross rivers. Parks appear between clusters of buildings. From above, the city feels endless. Yet in the early morning, it appears surprisingly calm. The seatbelt sign illuminates. A soft chime sounds throughout the cabin. Passengers return to their seats. Tray tables are secured. The crew perform final checks. Everything feels familiar, comforting, the routine that marks the end of a long journey. Tokyo Bay comes into view. The water sparkles beneath the morning sun. Ships move slowly across the surface, and somewhere ahead lies Haneda Airport. The runway appears in the distance, small at first, then gradually larger. The aircraft remains steady, smooth, confident, descending gently toward the ground. The engines reduce power. The landscape rises to meet us. A few final moments in the air, and then the wheels touch the runway. A gentle arrival, a brief rumble beneath the cabin, a smooth deceleration. And just like that, after crossing continents through the night, we have arrived. The aircraft leaves the runway and begins taxiing toward the terminal. Passengers smile quietly. Phones reconnect. Messages arrive. The outside world slowly returns, but for a few moments longer, the calm remains. The journey is complete. The destination reached, and everything has unfolded exactly as planned. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire crew, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure having you aboard. Whether you've been asleep for most of the journey or awake, enjoying the view, I hope you have arrived feeling rested and refreshed. For those listening from home, perhaps already drifting towards sleep, thank you for spending the night with me. The journey is complete. You have arrived. So get comfortable, close your eyes. Good night, and thank you for flying with us.